Well, you have a great voice. Can you sing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I love it.
some Luis Miguel.
Man, I love it. I'm a big fan of Luis Miguel.
I'm sure.
Actually, when we have a program in Boston, and I'm singing just in my table and listening music, and then they ask me, hey, "Can you sing?" And then I sing for them a song from Luis Miguel, Todo Nada. Yeah.
Wow.
And they record it, they put it up in our chat, and it was fun. It was so fun.
I was just saying that because my wife is from Mexico, and she's always listening. Saturday morning particularly, she's baking, she's listening to Luis Miguel, and I'll go in there many times and she's got tears coming down, from these romantic songs.
Well, that's what makes Luis Miguel, I think.
Sure.
Because he bring all the songs that I listen from my grandma, every day they putting this kind of romantic songs, trios and mariachi and all that type of songs, and they bring it up to date, to our new generations, and I think that's the value from Luis Miguel, and that's why he got all these packed scenarios. The ticket in on the floor in McAllen, I saw one. Well, the regular price is $1,500, but they sell it for $12,000. They put it on Ticketmaster for $12,000, and I'm thinking, wow, that's incredible. I have a friend who bought a ticket to give it to her mom, and she said, I just need to recover my investment because she cannot be standing all the time because she got hurt her back. Lizzie Putnett, I don't know if you know her. She's very active as well in our community, and she got tickets for the mom to sit down up there in the arena. I said, well, but I have these front tickets, and I asked my wife because I'm the fan, not my wife. So I told her and said, it's a lot of money, $3,000 for going there. Why don't we better get tickets to go to Europe? We have my daughter is rowing in the Spaniard team. So, well,
for the Spanish Olympic team?
Yeah. Yeah, she's trying to make it to the Olympics. Yeah. They qualify 6 boats, but not hers yet. Her next qualification is going to be in Switzerland in May. We're planning to go there. So
where does she live? In Madrid or
no? In Banyoles. It's like an hour north from Barcelona.
Okay.
When it was the Olympics in Barcelona in '92, that's when I got married. They have this lake in Banyoles. It's between the mountains, and they create a natural lake there. It's just like 2.5 kilometers long, and you need 2 kilometers to row, and you need certain width to get at least 6 boats, and they fit perfectly there for training.
Is that a very deep lake?
Not very deep, but you just need the depth of the.
Sure. But when you say it comes between 2 mountains, often that implies depth. Like it'll go down.
Well, it's deep enough.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. And I used to row in Lady Bird.
In Austin.
In Austin, and it's not that deep, but it's very comfortable. It's it's not like just in the center, probably. But
I've often wondered why we didn't do that in the Resacas.
I try it.
Did you?
Well, that's what I'm going to try. Well, it's one of my subject dreams, right? It's for Brownsville. I trying to bring because my daughter, she's a walk-on for the UT Austin team.
Okay.
She was in gymnastics from 3 to 15. She been a pole vaulter, same as my son. They won state champion both.
Wow.
And in their
divisions.
In their divisions. Then she said that I need to do something. What do you think? I said, what do you want to do? I said, well, she got some injuries for pole vault, and she started. Said, well, I'm gonna try rowing. I think it's gonna. So she started rowing in the club. We have to pay for that, and then she says, well, this girl, she's not. They don't have enough stamina to keep rowing, and I want to win, and they said, okay, why don't you try the to be a walk-on at the team, and she made it to the team. She's NCAA champion, runner-up the first year, champion the last year, and she's been recruited for the Spanish. After she got a job in Austin, she got a boyfriend, dog, a good job there. So she received the email. I said, hey, do you want to join the team? I said, what do you want to do? My wife said, "Are you crazy? You already
said.
You all said.
You have a dog.
Dreams.
You have a dog, for God's sakes, you know."
Well, that's my grand dog right now.
Your grand dog.
I keep it at home right now for 2 years now. But well, that's the story. And
what about the boyfriend?
It wasn't. He can't. He wasn't mature enough to handle it.
Yeah.
Both of the boyfriends blame her that, you know what, you prefer to go to the gym and exercise and training than us, you know. And I said, well, bad for them. And
it's kind of the reverse of what you usually hear, you know, the girl saying to the guy, you know, you care about the gym more than me.
Exactly. Well, yeah, she's very.
But good for her.
Term. Well,
good for
yeah,
her.
And I told her, you know what, and
she'll never regret it.
No,
you know,
at
she'll
all.
never regret
At all.
Because
she's doing her master's right now.
People generally regret what they didn't do, not what they did.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
For that,
Try.
I said, dream they passed up. You know,
that's the only chance you have to go.
Right.
Because she always said she wants to go to the Olympics in gymnastics, but she's too tall for that, and not tall enough to make it to the U.S. team on the rowing.
The rowing.
So it's you have to stay there in between, you know. And but well, she's learning and a lot. She's doing her master's. She's a biomedical engineer, and she's doing her master's right now. And I said,
her master's is in Spain. She's working on it in Spain,
in Seville. In Sevilla.
In Sevilla,
Yeah.
I love Sevilla.
That's beautiful too.
I spent about 2 months there on different summers.
Okay.
I just loved it.
And
plus
summer
it
is
has a
crazy because it's super
very
hot. It's like Brownsville, so we cannot complain on that.
It is very hot. But in the evening, it gets cooler than Brownsville. You know, you get that breeze up the Guadalquivir, and it's wonderful. And there's a nice connection between Sevilla and Brownsville and Andalusia and northern Mexico. There's a lot of historical interplay there.
The culture
the
is
vaqueros and all.
You know, our Mexican culture came very, very deep influenced by the Spaniards.
Yes.
Well, actually, we have a house in Spain. I married with a Spaniard girl, and I think it's because I have a neighbor who play in the Sinfónica, and he bring me to all the concerts in the Sinfónica Nacional in Mexico City when I was 8 years old. So, and I fall asleep in the first line in the concerts. But very nice way to fall asleep, you know.
To me, I was looking over your vita, so to speak, your life, and you're living the American dream. You spent a great number of years in Mexico, and then you came here, and you're enormously successful because I suppose, as a lot of people say, the system is set up in America for great success if you have ambition and you have a work ethic, etc. So tell me about that. How did you? Obviously, you had great success in Mexico itself before you came to the States. So how did you come to make the leap to the States?
Well, that's a story that touched my heart. It's my dad passed away in 1999 after an assault in Mexico City. And that's when I decide I have a good business in Monterrey. I develop some properties for a banker there, so we having a pretty decent business there in Mexico. But also we get married. I graduated in 1990, married in 1992, and in 94 we have a big devaluation. And I have a lot of debt in dollars. And, well, that's one of the first eye-openers right there. But, well, we survive. We keep doing the same. I'm an architect. I'm graduated as an architect in Monterrey Tech. And, well, we have we start in Las Misiones. It's a development there. I helped them to do some houses there. Work for an architect for a
That was in Monterrey?
in Monterrey.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
And these were high-end homes or what?
yeah, well, it's a very nice
Very nice
subdivision.
neighborhood.
I met
Up the mountain?
out the mountains. Yes, very very nice scenario for the golf course as well. The golf course you shoot down there in a par 3, 100 yards.
That's the best way, yes. Down.
And well, I have the opportunity to I met the architect there, Felix, and he designed the clubhouse. It's a very fancy clubhouse there, and I met. Well, I used to work with people from Cemex, and Hector in that days asked me to build his house there. So, and they have a very ambitious project to build 10 nice houses. That subdivision they just started in that days, and I have a chance to work in 2 of the houses there, build his house, and well, business was well. But you get out of house, drop the kids at school. I have my son and my daughter, born in 94 and 97. My son 94, my daughter in 97. And taken to school, but then go out for work. The developments are in Allende, which is like, I don't know, 45 minutes from Monterrey. So I don't see my wife till the night, right?
And a lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic. Well, not as bad as today. Today is worse. Today is horrible. But
it's not Mexico City traffic.
Now probably.
No? Really?
Now probably.
Oh, wow.
Now probably.
Because I was there, stayed with my wife in the Zona Rosa about 4 years ago. We stayed a month, and I just found it easier in the center of the Zona Rosa. It was just easier to walk. It took forever to get a taxi.
So that's a different. That's a very nice part of Mexico.
Oh, it's beautiful. I loved it.
That Polanco song area. I just went for a wedding this past month, and it was incredible.
But in Monterrey, your life was getting more complicated and difficult than you wanted it to be. Is that right?
Well, no, man, I was young, so we can handle it, right? But then it happens. My dad, passed away before the New Year's of 2000, and well, it hits me pretty bad. We have a very good relation, and my marriage starts to crumble a little bit, and we always thinking in coming to the United States to do a master's. My wife is finishing her career, her bachelor's then in 94, but then we have our son comes to play. So then we delay that project came to do our master's here. But with the accident, we just moved here. I have to start from scratch.
You moved to Brownsville?
To Brownsville.
Okay. And why did you choose Brownsville?
Well, my in-laws lives here. So she came looking for, the family in that tough moments.
The reason I ask that is because there's been this long, strong connection between Monterrey and McAllen. A lot of people moved to McAllen. I think you made a great choice. I'm just curious as to why.
Well, my in-laws live here. Live here for 40 years now, I think.
Yes.
My father-in-law is from Spain, and my mother-in-law, their parents from Spain, but she born in Guatemala, and then she moves to Mexico City. They met in one of the trips my father was a captain of the Merchant Marine in Spain. So that's how they met.
So he had traveled everywhere.
Yeah, and well,
I bet.
He met his son at 1 year and a half or something. So that's a tough part of being there. So that's they decide as well to move out. They have a business in Mexico. They transferred that business they need to import things.
Sure.
Truck part in that days was bus parts. So they have the base of importation here in Brownsville. And my father-in-law just fall in love with pretty close to the sea, the small town in that days. I came a couple times just for Rancho Viejo with friends, and in that days, in the 80s, it was pretty intense, the economy here.
So when you came, what was the first business that you started? Or what
I
work
started
did you do?
working for Rudy Gomez Men Designs, architects.
Right.
Well, I have no permit of work, so at the first 6 months, so I helped my in-laws a little bit here and there, looking for a job as well. As soon as I get the permit, I start working with Rudy Gomez here in Paredes Line. Ron is the son. They still working together. The Davids, both paths passed away, David Mendes and David Sainz. I worked with them at the beginning. And as soon as I learned a little bit how to do business here, I have 2 kids, so I have to jump and start doing my own entrepreneur as well. So I start Design Group 692, which is, we do plans. We start with residential, and now we do commercial, medical.
So most people call you a developer, right?
Yeah, well, lately, yes.
Lately, yes.
The last 5 years,
Yes.
I think. And I take.
Do you know about Madeira?
Oh yeah, that's a big, ambitious development. Yeah.
Is that in a sense a new Rancho Viejo? I mean, is it kind of modeled on that idea of course, Rancho Viejo was a country club, and this is a planned community, which is a little bit different.
It's more ambitious with the stadium, and if things that they want to achieve.
They have a stadium.
They want to have a.
They want to have a
in the
stadium.
master plan is there. Yeah, we need to vote for that. It's a lot of implications, tax implications there, and. But that's.
But the idea is that they will have in that community. They already have planned medical facilities and HEB, or that they have the shopping already factored in. They might have to go get them to open there, but that's the idea.
Yeah. Well, that's a master plan.
Yeah,
and every plan, we need to go step by step, and you have to have the people living there first. You have to put roofs.
Yes.
And then the economy started moving on. So to develop an HEB is very particular in analyze their numbers and see if they have enough people to serve. Of
course, yeah.
Well, like this HEB right now, in the one Paredes and 802, it's packed all the time.
The Gucci HEB.
Yeah. Well, and that's. Well, that a lot of people coming to there, so we need to. That's the growth of the of the city.
Is that idea kind of a developed idea that came from Central Texas and North Texas? Because around Austin, they've done that of building these planned communities around Austin, and Frisco up in Dallas is enormous.
Well, and I went to a gymnastic competition with my daughter to Frisco. And I saw all these development, but everything it was just starting. And now you go there, you cannot recognize it.
I was there just a month ago, and I was driving through Frisco, and I swear I drove 5 miles through nothing but $1 million homes. I just said, what do these people do?
Well, it's a lot. All the techs companies are there. And we're in a tech time of our lives. It's artificial intelligence is a very good tool that we need to incorporate to our lives. It's going to be our life, make it a little easier for everything. So, and that's where that tech company is there, and you need to find all these. The only thing that machines cannot do, it's our creativity. So you have to bring all these kids to create the new jobs, the new games, the new, it's the new dream to go to Mars. So all these things came in play with the AI and
you just went to a conference at MIT about AI.
Well, I take a class.
You take a class.
AI, for business,
but through MIT.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you also have you've attended programs at Harvard of a similar nature.
It's for real estate.
For real estate.
AMDP, yeah. It's for developers. And you spend a couple of years or a year doing. First, you do team project from people, developers from all around the world. So I did with Mathis from Norian, Roman from Lisbon.
You got people from all over?
Yeah, and we meet in Lisbon all together to work on our project.
Very cool.
It was amazing. I think the best part of the program is the network, and you learn from others how to do things as well.
Now you did a master's. You have a degree from Monterrey Tech.
Yes.
Right. And
this is just I'm alumni because I take the program, but it's just a program of 2 years. It's not.
So you're just an example of the person who never quits learning. You're always willing to take that new program and ratchet up your skills and knowledge, right?
I think I start this because I have to set up an example for my kids. That you never stop learning.
You never stop.
And the toughest of the family is my wife. She did her master's, her MBA here in UT, and but she had to do it because she's an architect. But she have to take all the classes for administration to be able to do her master's in administration. It take her like 5 years to get it done, but she get it done. Yeah. And she asked me, where's your grades? And and she got all A's in everything, honor mention in architecture and everything. She's very tough on her. She's the best example for the family. But I keep learning. Artificial intelligence is one of the things that it helps me, GPT-4, for a lot of things in my office.
Is artificial intelligence able to do architecture?
Yes. Well, it helps you. Photoshop helps you. You put some directions of how you want something, and then you correct it from there. Helps us. We use it in the office.
It helps you with creative ideas, options you wouldn't otherwise think of.
And like in a medical office, there's some things that never change, right? Like you have to comply with the exam rooms, the nurse station, how the ADA rooms. So all that facts that you have to put there, you can always have it there. Just not like copy paste, but and then you adapt it to the property, to the land, and then you make your design, right? You adapt it, but at least it helps you a lot with the start. You don't start from scratch.
Sure.
So that helps us.
Also helps you to not forget really important things. A little later you say, "Oh my God, we forgot to put in a plug for the heart machine."
Right. and we did when they did the exceptional ER. There's a lot of specific things that you need to pass inspection from the Texas Department of Health.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And you have the guy from Texas Department of Health coming and check. If you don't pass, your next inspection could be scheduled in another couple of months or so. So, and every time that you have this kind of facilities closed, it won't generate more than just expenses. You have to pay a lot of things. So.
When you look at Brownsville as a developer, as a guy with a lot of understanding of architecture and potential, because I've been here for 30 years, and I used to tell people who were elsewhere, they say, "What do you like about Brownsville?" I said, "I like its potential. It's got these beautiful Resaca lakes that so much could be done with, and we have. It is slowly taking advantage of these things over time, these natural features. And but I want to ask you, what do you see? What are we missing? What could be done that we're missing?
Resacas, it's a gift that we have. Not everywhere in the world take advantage of not covering their natural water flow, and that's a really good advantage that they did here. And you can see Matamoros, when they close it, they have all these flood.
Yeah, they covered up their
songs.
resacas, and now they got flooding.
Yeah, so, but that's a beautiful feature that we have. Help us to have nature life,
In fact,
birds.
I don't want to interrupt you. Just reminded me of the original name for Matamoros was translated the city of beautiful estuaries.
Okay.
I mean, that was the original name before it was Matamoros.
Okay.
The land of beautiful estuaries, which were resacas.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they covered them. Qué
Yeah,
triste.
that's unfortunately. Yeah, that's a bad thing, right?
Okay, so but we didn't. So what is our potential?
Well, that's one of the potentials. You have the natural flow that helps to development because there's a lot of restrictions when you develop a land. What you're gonna do with all the rainwater? So you have this.
And it's storage too. It's storage of water.
Oh yeah, well that's what you have to create. We have one in Alton Glor, that a very big triangle of the property, dipping off to catch all the water, and then little by little put it back in the resaca.
Are you aware? This happened before your time, but I'm sure you've heard about it. That it must have been at least 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, that they were talking about building a weir about 10 miles to the east of Brownsville, a kind of dam that would raise the water level along in the Rio, maybe 10 feet. It would raise it. And then they were even talking about building a city down there. They had a big plan. They did development for a while where they had the Mexican side and the American side with the bridge. It was kind of like a planned community on both sides of the river. But then it all fell apart at some point. They couldn't get the dam built, and a lot of political things interrupted
Absolutely.
it. But it was I thought it was a beautiful idea.
You can see Lady Bird in Austin. They have this exactly composed that retain the water and they keep the level of the lake.
Right.
So that would be a nice idea. And well, I've been here probably 15 years ago. They did a master plan for the city, and they have a very nice plan between Mexico and Brownsville, like a very nice pathway between restaurants and
Kind of a
for
riverwalk
developer.
idea?
Kind of a riverwalk idea, exactly. But well, politics is a big fact. Mexico, I think, the bad thing is the leadership is not there. That's why it's all this decomposition. That's what I'm thinking. Well, where I get my kids, right? And I would love them to study in the same college. That's where we talk when they born with my wife, and they finally study it here, and well, that's a blessing. They have the opportunities, and that's the bad leadership. What happened in Mexico. So that's why it's so hard when they don't have a sustainability democracy. So and well, look, the power that the cartels have there. So you cannot count on them at the end. Because they don't, that's not going to be the honest part to do business with. You have to pick your clients and your partners.
I mean, it's so sad. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, a single guy, I used to travel Mexico by myself, with no fear. I drove to Oaxaca by myself, to Puerto Escondido.
Nice.
No fear. I mean, it wasn't that there couldn't, I could have had trouble, but I never did. I wouldn't do it now. I would feel very much at risk to try that now.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's money that is lost to Mexico because of a lot of people like me who just, won't go. Like I said, we went to Mexico City, but we went there because of the Zona Rosa, and there are police everywhere, so we feel a little safer.
Yeah, you keep the eye where you're going, right?
And we fly in.
Not driving, we just to drive.
I just to drive, yeah.
Yeah, all
all the time.
Yeah, we did a car drive all the way to Oaxaca as well. Puerto Escondido with all the family in the trucks. That's some things that you cannot
I still remember being
with an RVs.
I remember being incredibly impressed by the highway that went from Mexico City to Oaxaca. It was a super highway. It was gorgeous, and it was brand new. I think and I don't believe that was a toll road, was it? I don't remember. I don't know if it was an autopista or whether you had paid it. But if I paid, it wasn't much.
You pay some in the center of Mexico. I don't think to all the way there.
All the way there, right?
It's not a charge. Yeah. But well, it was when Salinas opened the borders. I think a lot of injection in infrastructure to Mexico. It was a nice development times.
And we've done well here with the roads. I mean, when I first came, we didn't have this. Los Tomates Bridge didn't exist.
Yeah,
and we didn't have this made. Even driving from here to Harlingen in 1990, before you came, was there were several stoplights out there. It was kind of like not exactly a farm to market road, but it was a much slower journey.
Oh yeah,
over there. And much more farmland between here and there.
We came with all my family to ask for the hand of my wife to Brownsville in 1991. Yeah, so it was that Brownsville stops right there at the mall.
At the mall, that's right. That's where it stopped. Yeah. That's right. After there, it was just farmland.
And then they come Alton Glore, who developed that area, the woods and
I think I was reading in the paper that just this morning actually that Dallas-Fort Worth will be the largest population center in the United States in probably 50 years. Be bigger than New York City, bigger than Los Angeles, but we have in the valley, we have absolutely exploded in the past 20 years on both sides of the border. So every time you have that kind of progress, it's an opportunity. But I look at Houston. Houston kind of tried many years ago to say, well, we just won't build for the population growth, and then it will stop. But it came anyway. It's kind of like if you don't build it, they still come, and then you have to try to build it after the fact, which is incredibly expensive, and not as useful to the population because it's kind of patchwork.
Yeah, you need a master plan for that, a good infrastructure. I think our leaders here in Brownsville are doing the right thing. Having that internet connection to everybody is going to be a great start. That's a good infrastructure that we need. And well, if we start looking at the traffic here, it's not that bad yet. But if we planning right, I think we can make it grow accordingly. We have a lot of connections with Mexico. Mexico is going to be probably the first manufacturer in the near future, because China is losing that part because of the politics involved, right? And I think it's going to be good to have.
China's investing a lot in Mexico, isn't it?
As well, yeah. That's the way they want to come in here. But and all the manufacturer here. I have 3 projects for warehouses for business here as well. You can see the need on the growth on that parts.
Warehouses that will house what? Is this produce or is this?
One of them, no. One is manufacture of boxes. Another one is manufacture of all the fiber optic, all the products that they consume for doing all these installations. They produce it. Some of them in China, some of them in Matamoros, and they have a warehouse pretty close to here, and they're gonna double the size.
The warehouse you're talking about will be here or in Mexico? Here.
The 3 projects are here, and there's another 2 that is in hold, but in the new industrial park here in Paredes, they have the property. They need to build it in the next 2 years. They have to get it done. So that's another 2 projects that we're looking for. We make presentations about it. We estimate the cost. The cost of construction is going kind of crazy materials are going up. But they still have a little return, and now they raising a little the bar and everything. So it's coming.
What's happening with the ancillary businesses around SpaceX? When SpaceX came, people said, well, we'll get a lot of space business with companies that will locate here because of SpaceX. So I don't really know anything about that. Do you
That's
see
another
anything happening
big
there?
phenomena. There's a lot of houses building for them as well. They need space for the engineers. They have a big development there in the
Boca Chica
area. They made their own school, which is fantastic. But we can talk another hour.
Another hour.
Education, right?
Well, I was reflecting on something that you wrote about how excited you were for the idea that 100 years from now it may be that Brownsville and Mars are the
port of entrance.
The port of entry in the solar system. These two ports, Mars and Brownsville, will be connected.
That's the idea of Elon Musk, right? And as crazy it sounds, but as all these studies came from the genetics and the DNA and all this, and then now we can affect a little bit how we grow and how prevent some sickness or some cancerous diseases, or there's also some modification that we can do to be able to live there. So that's the other part that we miss right now, but it's coming, I think, because our kids are very creative, and I think we're gonna be there. And I think that's with this idea. Well, I see the beginning. I went there when it's just dirt, and they piling there and then, and I drove there and I said, oh, this is gonna be okay. And now when they launch it, then this all get destroyed by the power. It was crazy, but they rebuild it. And they rebuild it better because the engines destroy everything. So now they need to give some escape to that power,
right?
And probably cushion it with the water. I don't know. Yeah. That's another.
It's just an engineering problem.
But all these things they're learning,
sure.
and they're gonna learn how to get there. And he's saying 3 years he's gonna have his start base there. So. That's great things, and that's why we have a lot of these engineers here. And you can tell when you go to a restaurant which guys are working for SpaceX, right? It's different people. When I work out to Hard Knocks in the mornings, you can tell who's working in SpaceX. They driving their Teslas, kind of crazy. Some very tall guys.
Very tall guys, yes.
Some different guys, blonde guys,
Yeah.
It's different to our
California engineers.
A lot of California engineers as well. Well, they started there. So all that things makes me believe that I feel it. We're going in that direction. They give us some projects to do it there, but they're very demanding. They want us to be there all the time. And, you have to pick your battles. But the demand is there. I receive plans. Can you bid on this? Can you bid on that? And it's happening. You can tell. And now with LNGs, it's another crazy stuff. The project manager is coming from Guadalajara. So all these kind of things, we still have the two cultures here, or multicultural right now. I have a guy from East Europe as well in the gym, and they all these people is new for this nice community. We're learning from them. That's what I love from youth exchange program. You learn from other cultures and you bring something back when you when you back to your community.
Yeah, I think
You
that
learn
we're
something.
I think in the future, 30 years from now, we're not going to be, kind of Hispanic gringo. We're going to have, like I say, Eastern Europe, and we're going to have Indian.
A lot of smart guy Indians here.
Yeah, the engineers, whatever. We're going to have a greater mix of cultures here, maybe to some extent, like a little Houston, with different ethnic communities here, all working towards similar goals.
And have restaurants with different
yes, we'll have
different tasteful cultures as well. Yes. So all that things I think is going to bring to Brownsville a lot of richness. We just need to, control the growth with a plan. And I think that's what they're doing.
Now you're a cyclist, right?
I'm very big fan of cyclists. Yeah. I watch the Tour of France. I love it. That's where I get hooked when I was probably, 14 years old.
In Mexico City?
In Mexico. No, in Guanajuato.
I
live in Celaya in that days.
Yeah.
And I working in a development for a friend of my dad. They're doing a golf course there. So in that summer, I working there, and then a guy bring a nice bicycle, a Benotto, and I said, okay, how much you wanted for this? And I have my TV because it was a Mexico 86, I think. I don't know. I don't remember the days, but I have my TV there and said, I trade you for your TV. Deal. I used this bike till somebody stole it from me in Monterrey in the tech.
Oh, no.
But I get friends from the community. We used to go to Chipinque, and one of the guys sell me one of the bikes.
You would ride your bike to Chipinque?
Yes. Yeah.
What is that, like 10 miles uphill?
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. When you get it up, it's an awesome feeling. And then you hit down. If you don't apply your brakes,
you're gone.
And now you have better brakes, disc brakes. But, that days it wasn't. So, I ride there. And when I moved here, we start going to World Gym, and there was a spinning class, 5 a.m. So we need to go there because I take my kids to school. So we started spinning, and we fight for getting a seat. So we're all getting at 5, and that group, we start going from the World Gym to Alton Glor and make that loop in bicycle.
Oh.
I took 2004, I think. And then we start a little club called the River Bandits.
That's great.
And
River
then
Bandits, I like it. They
start the River Rockets, Mari Heggie and Mike Heggie. And Maribela, that's why they call Montebella, the MTB trails that we have. They very into it. And we used to ride from his house to all the border. And now they change it with they start to making the wall. And they kick us out of there. So that's when they create Montebella. And it's a very nice 7-mile loop. So you can do 2 loops, 6-mile loop.
Is that your favorite?
It's back in my house, so it's my bike patio. It's my back patio.
But I was surprised you said that there's even good mountain biking here, and I said to myself, well, where? There's no mountains, so...
Montebello, but you have to use they use the
hills
the
they
ditches,
created, the ditches,
and you can go up and down there. So that's the dirt it's fun, and they create some jumps with wood. The younger kids, I don't want to fall down in one of these big jumps, right? So, but I like everything. I love to fall down as well.
So when you travel, do you take your bike so that you can ride in places?
Austin, I love it, and in Bañoles. Well, I don't get my bike, but I rent a bike there. My son lives in Santa Barbara, and we visited him. And I'm pushing my wife to do it, and she ride with me on the weekends, and we use the bike trails. And when I remember Dr. Gowen, when she started pushing for the trails, I have the story there. how they get the money, who's built the tax DOT, and they have some grants to build the trails that we have, and it's amazing. Well, I use it. I'm when I go to a road bike with other groups, you cannot do it just in the trails. We like to go to Harlingen, back and Rio Hondo, and then back sometimes to McAllen, but that's a different type of ride. But with the trails, you can do a family rides, go with my wife, with my kids. Just recently,
there are many options.
Yeah,
if you really want to do it.
The GoPros, and well, it's a community. That's another nice thing. We have some different chats, groups, and JT, Joe, our kids went together to school, and I met him, and he was in the road all the time, so he invited me as well. And there are groups that they generate in different names, the Velociraptors, and I used to ride with them as well. I have all the uniforms from them. Seven and Park, Raham, I rode with him and ride for Rotary. I created one of the fundraisers for our club, and it just the Velociraptors. The first ride was just 12 guys, right? That first year, but now it's 14 years. We interrupted one for the pandemia, but we just have one, and 4 years ago we started crossing the bridge. So we start in Brownsville, ending at the island at Port Isabel, and then we cross all together to the island. And
how many now?
We have 300.
Oh my God!
This year, 300 something.
Started with just 14, and now wow.
But well, and not like Pedal to Padre. They have 1,000 riders one year. Wow. And I remember the first Pedal to Padre, and I can finish because I have a couple of flats. And my friends called me when they finish, and where are you doing? Oh, I'm counting the jar in my house. That's the first one. But well, it was a very fun ride as well. And then we did and conquered the coast in Corpus Christi. We traveled to Ride for the Roses in Austin. First 100 miles.
So you're very serious about this. You do it all the time.
Well, I like it. Yeah. I love it. Well, and
you look very fit. I mean, what is your BMI? Like 12? You
look
very thin and fit.
26. I deal with that. But well, it's I'm very into it. I take my bike ride with my bikes. Well, I remember when my kids young, we travel with all the friends of the school. And I have my 4-bike rack, and I have the bikes for each of the family, and they bring their own bikes. So we make bike rides there. We go to Fredericksburg, and as I told you, when I visit my son, we ride the bikes there to go to Montecito and go here, there, grab a beer, grab a coffee, and you know.
So if someone wanted to join your group, how do they do that? How do they reach you, or how do they sign up to participate?
There's many groups, and they trying to get Caracara. It's a website that shows all the
trails.
All the trails. I'm in talking with.
But is there a web address you can give us that says if you Google this, it'll help you get started?
Yeah, well,
in Brownsville.
Yes, and if you go to any of the shops, bike shops,
like 7th and Park, you go there.
7th
and
and Park,
everything you need.
They can ask, and they're gonna tell you. You can go with Joe T Bikes, Bicycle World. The owner of Bicycle World was very passionate. He did the Jalapeno 100. He passed away at 67, but he was very fit, very fun guy. I will love him. We have a ride on his honor. He got cancer and passed away. Well, we're gonna die, right? But don't push it.
Yeah,
we're heading that direction. But he did a lot for our community as well. And you can stop by a Bicycle World. His wife is the one who's running the business. Terry Hall is a local. He used to own that shop. and he works there. So very nice guy.
There's many ways to get involved if you want.
Yeah, you just go to the shops and
join a
ask. There's GoPros. We just did a ride in honor of one of the owners. He's struggling with depression. He passed away a month ago. We did a ride with my daughter, came for a visit for a couple of weeks, and we did that ride. Well, that's another thing. Mental health, you cannot catch them on time. I don't know how we missed that. He was half his shop. He used to ride his bike.
People are very good at hiding it.
Yeah. That's a bad part. And well, open your eyes to trying to talk to your kids. And why are you asking that many questions? And I tell them, if I don't ask the questions, I don't know what's happening in your mind. And I just want to help if I can.
Sure.
Give you some direction if I can. Or you can blame on me. Don't worry. Just if you don't want to answer.
It's very good advice.
Don't answer.
Very good fatherly advice. Yes.
But well, even your friends, right? I have a very good friend. We start riding our bikes. He's the one who ride with me all the weekends. And when his dad passed away, he stopped doing it. And he's putting some weight. And he's a very good friend. So we almost every day we talk. We have a beer or something. And I told him, man, you put some weight. Why do you do back to ride a bike? I said, no, I'm not ready. Man, what are you waiting for, right? And I'm gonna keep pushing him. It's healthier. At the end, is your health. What we're talking about, and gives you energy, gives you a stamina to keep going, to keep,
And now the weather's changing, so it's a little more.
Man, it's great. Now I love the rides.
Yes.
Even when it's hot, it was tough, but you have to do it.
Well, so you got spoiled because you learned in Guanajuato where the climate is el mejor mundo, what they go, el mejor clima del mundo. It's the best climate in the world, right?
Oh yeah, it's very good weather there. Yeah, and then I moved, and in Monterrey, that's more cyclist community than in Guanajuato. They use it a lot for transportation.
Sure. Yeah,
so that's how I get involved in the.
When I was in Sevilla, I got a bicycle like you. I rented one, and it was great. The city was. I wouldn't say it was tailor-made for cycling, but it was common. And so if you kind of got used to the best places and where to ride and parks where it was okay, it was a great way to get around. And because like any big city, it gets congested, and the bicycle is freer than a car.
Yeah. Well, my wife loves to walk. Actually, she wants to do the Camino de Santiago walking, but I want to do it riding my bike. So that's a little.
That's the Central Trail in Spain, right?
El Camino de Santiago. There's so many routes that you can do. The French road, right? The Napoleon. There's the.
It goes through Spain and France.
The Portugal route. Yeah.
Oh.
So you walk. You pick your battle.
It's the Appalachian Trail for Southern Europe, right?
Yeah, you can go from. It's like 800 kilometers. So you walk like 20 kilometers a day. So make your math. It's like 3 weeks out there.
So probably some people do it like they do with the Appalachian Trail. They do 100 miles one year, and then they go back and they pick up where they left off.
My in-laws did the 400, I think, or 200 kilometers, I think. And well, it's in a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and they stopped. Well, they came with the feet.
They came
crazy.
ready. They're ready. Yeah. Well, Roberto, thank you for coming in. It's been a great conversation.
Anytime. I enjoy the talking, and I understand putting the word out is going to help our community to try new things and think about doing new business. Think about SpaceX. Think about a lot of things that we can do and work for the education of our new community. That's going to be a better Brownsville.
Very good advice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for watching this BSPA video. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and go to our website, brosoperformingarts.org, and smash the donate button. And then we'll really like you too.